Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is April 24th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. I've got the lightning strikes that are going to be showing up here. This is yesterday morning. Remember, if you watched the video yesterday, we had some thunderstorms ongoing during the morning hours, and you can see that activity that went on during the later morning hours, and it started to fire up across some of the northern Sierra Nevada here, Klamath Range, Cascades, up into Oregon as well. Hundreds of lightning strikes out there across Nevada as well, impacting places just to the east of Lake Tahoe there also. And then you can see they waned as we went to the overnight hours. Not completely though, still had a few lightning strikes there after dark here across some of Nevada. And then as we go on through this morning, we're going to kick off some more thunderstorms here today and probably for the next few days as well. And we'll take a look at what's coming here. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. Taking a look at Thursday and Friday, check it out. Some rainfall. Look at Crescent City. You're talking about almost up towards an inch of rainfall there, and some areas in Lynn, maybe Red Bluff there, quarter of an inch. You see Trinity Center here as well. Eureka, not too much, and maybe a little bit of light snow about 5,000 feet. And also, again, the Hanford National Weather Service, California, has been putting out these thunderstorm updates. And again, this is issued for Wednesday afternoon and evening. This is Friday afternoon and evening. They're calling for a little bit of a break here as we go through tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. You can see that again, Wednesday and Friday, and more on that here in a moment. But if we look at across some of Southern California here, let me actually bring this up a little bit here so we can see the winds, because these are wind advisories across higher terrain. There could even be some localized gusts up towards 50 miles per hour here. So heads up if you're driving back and forth across the 10 or the 8 and 15 there for some of those gusty winds, Interstate 40 as well. And if we look at the North American model, this is hot off the presses. You can see the wind action here as we go through this afternoon and evening. Check out some of these strong winds across some of the desert areas as well. And we go on into the day tomorrow, continuing with that strong westerly and southwesterly wind at times. And you notice how it starts to come down out of the north a bit here across portions of Nevada as well, and also picking up across some of the Sierra Nevada here as we go into Thursday night and into Friday morning. So heads up for that, as we're going to be dealing with this wind all the way on and through Friday evening and Friday night at least. And we'll be looking at that in some more detail here in the upcoming days. Now taking a look at the wind advisory, check it out. Look at Mountain Spring gusting towards 60 miles per hour, Salton Sea 50, and you can see some blowing dust possible here as well. Maybe on the 10 here and the 8, and there's Yuma, and this is Palm Canyon. There's Dateland out here as well, so watch out for that activity, especially the high profile vehicles. Again, the big truck drivers, you got to watch out for this stuff here. You don't want to get caught up in some of these crosswinds. Now taking a look at these are peak winds. We're looking at high temperatures and chance of precipitation as we go on in through Friday. You'll notice like Colorado Creek, Furnace Creek, Goldfield, Nevada here, Las Vegas, Panica out there starting to get some chance of precipitation rolling in here along with some of these gusty winds. And this is what's known as a thunderstorm outlook here. So this is as we go through the afternoon hours, and you can see again it does include Redding, some of Klamath, Cascades, Sierra Nevada here, and you can kind of see that enhanced area here across portions of very eastern California, central, and then on in through Nevada. So yes, we're gonna have thunderstorm activity here again today most likely. And this is the official day 1 outlook right there. It does include the Sierra Nevada. Day 2, and that's, you can see it kind of kicks off to the east a bit, including Nevada and portions of northern Arizona, but then comes back here as we go through the day Friday coming up. And if we look at the 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, you got to see the troughing that we're dealing with here. That's going to be kicking off some of that shower activity. And here goes the inside slider. And that could bring some precipitation even for the higher terrain of Southern California here as well. Can't rule out a couple thunderstorms with that. And then we try to nose a bit of a ridge in here, but the troughing is not far off across Pacific Northwest. It will be including California at times as we go towards the end of the month and on in through early May. And you can see additional troughs forming off the west coast of North America as we go through the early portion of May. So we may yet still have some interesting weather to deal with here across much of the state. And if we look at 850 millibars, it's about 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere. This is temperature anomaly. So when you see these blues and greens and purple start to show up, you know you're below average. You start to see these yellows, oranges, and reds, you know you're above average here. So we're dealing with this, and here comes the inside slider, and you can kind of see how it's going to cool down in the southwest as we go through Friday night and on into this weekend coming up. And then you see that next trough out there. You can see out ahead of this some above average conditions, and then you've got this trough. It's really going to cool things down, it looks like, as we go a bit off into the extended forecast. It's pretty much fantasy here, but it's kind of an interesting signal here because the GFS and the European have both been showing this at times. So still dealing with some trough activity as we go on into early May. And if we look at the composite reflectivity, this is what the Doppler radar may look like as we go through the day today. You can see some of these showers kicking off across Nevada and then Sierra Nevada here. And again, you can't rule out thunderstorm activity with any of this. And it even shows a couple showers across some of the transverse ranges, maybe peninsular ranges here as well. Should be fairly light, but watch out for that. Eyes on the sky today. And as we go through the day tomorrow, you'll see some of this activity, kind of, some precipitation across Northern California. And there's where that main thunderstorm risk that was shown on the SPC is for eastern Nevada here. But as we go on in through Friday, you'll notice precipitation start to return a little bit here as we go through the afternoon hours. And that could kick off a thunderstorm here, maybe across Southern California and the Sierra Nevada yet again, maybe the Cascade Range. We'll see how that goes. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches, this is the European as of last night. You can kind of see this activity as we go through the next couple of days here. Again, mainly focusing on the higher terrain, and especially Northern California portions of Nevada and the Sierra Nevada as well. Now let's take a look at the daily 2-meter maximum temperatures. This is a national blend of models. And what I want to show you here is that things are going to remain relatively suppressed here. We're not looking at any 90s coming up here. We do bounce back a little bit the early portion of next week here, but then maybe cool back down with one of those troughs dropping down the west coast here as we go on in through next week. You can see these desert temperatures not really reaching the lofty heights that they can at this time of year. So that's a good thing here if you don't want to get too warm. Now looking at San Bernardino, you can see this roller coaster ride here for the next few days, below average and maybe some above average and maybe another trough after that. Same thing for Bakersfield, bit of a roller coaster going on here. This red line denotes the actual average temperature for this time of year, and by the time we get towards early May, you can see the average temperature right around 85, and once you get towards the mid portion of April, it's right around 80. Here's Sacramento, and you can see not much of a bounce back here and generally below average here through the 15-day forecast. Here's the 6 to 10-day below average signal here, and then you can kind of see that above average signal across some portions here with this trough dropping down. Again, on the west coast here, it depends on just how it sets up in the trajectory of that trough. Here's the 6 to 10-day, kind of a below average signal showing up here as we go through May 3rd, but then below normal temperatures show up as we go on through early May. Maybe so that troughing will keep us below normal here and actually bring some above average precipitation. Again, we'll be breaking that down day by day, so don't need to get too caught up in that just yet. But anyway, yeah, so eyes on the sky today, and then maybe a little bit of a break tomorrow. I wouldn't completely rule out some thunderstorm activity, though, again, on Thursday. And then Friday could include some of Southern California. We'll see how that goes. But watch out for the strong westerly and southwesterly winds, especially across the higher terrain and some of the desert areas, the Mojave out there, and, Nevada, Arizona as well. Could get some blowing dust. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.